course. All right, so welcome, Sophia. That's okay. I know you're muted. What we're going to do, we're going to take all the questions after, that's all right. And I'm going to just present, and then you can ask your questions in the chat, click on chat, or you can write your questions down, take your notes, and at the end, I'll also open for questions, all right? So we're saying we want to stop working those long, hard hours for our business, and we want to create a business where we're working smart and we're building something that works for us. And as I was mentioning, can we separate this concept that says time is money? You know, sometimes there's somebody, hurry up, time is money, you know, you're wasting time. Well, we want to show people that you don't have to connect time with money anymore. And to do that, you have to think of the fact that, can you make twice as much money within the same amount of time? Or can you make 4 times as much money within the same amount of time? Or can you make 10 times as much money within the same amount of time? And that has to do with using productivity systems to build something that works for you. And as you increase the productivity and efficiency, you get more returns, less time, or more returns with the same time, right? Now, the Innovatech system, of course, helps you to avoid hard work, all right? Helps you to avoid wasting precious time away from your family. Helps you to avoid a business from going dormant if you fall ill or if you have to go on vacation. It avoids that, helps you to avoid that, right? You got to avoid creating a product that people don't already want. In other words, instead of having to try to convince people, you create something that they already want, right? The system also helps you to avoid the trap of business operations stealing your family time. You know, some people, they build some businesses, they become so busy that they can't enjoy their labor or their life, right? So we want to change that. Also, you get to guarantee a business growth and success beforehand. The reason why I say guarantee is because there's a concept that Jim Rohn mentioned years ago, says success leave clues. Once you follow the principles, the clues, you're gonna get to the treasure, right? All right. Create products that people already are looking for and they want to consume. They're already consuming it. In fact, this is one of the secrets to getting investments and investors and that sort of thing. Right? Apply the 5 key skills of marketing, online or offline. There are 5 key skills, and those are things that you learn in the program itself. Now today we're just going to deal with helping the poor get rich and helping the rich get wealthy. Right? We're going to deal with financial literacy. But I'm just going through the introduction of the whole program, just introduction, and then we're going to focus on the item tonight, right? You get to leverage social media technology to work for you, not to consume you and your time. This program helps you to actually take advantage of these billion-dollar technology systems so that they work for you, not consume your hours. You know, in other words, you are the creator, you're not the consumer, right? You're gonna make those adjustments. All right. All right, so the Innovatech framework is really 4 systems into one, right? You have to have a personal vision plan for your life. So if you don't have that, we help you to do that. If you have that already, good, we go to the next stage, corporate vision plan. The corporate vision plan is really the goal, one of the goals or the items to achieve your personal vision, right? Your purpose, your vision, your principles, your identity, that sort of thing. And your corporate vision plan is really a business plan, all right? But we have another part called the business technology system, which is what we use to implement the corporate vision plan. That is where you save time and you save money, right? And you disconnect the whole issue of time and money, disconnect it. Of course, at the end, the Innovatech system teaches you what they call productivity system. How do you take 5-hour work and turn it into 1 hour of work? How do you take an 80-hour work week and turn it into 4 hours a week? How do you do that? That's a productivity system. These things can be done, all right? Today we're going to just deal with a part of the corporate vision plan, but let me just go through how it works. So the personal vision plan, then the corporate vision plan, then you go to your strategies, then you go to the technology to implement the strategies, and then you have the income flow from that. And from the income flow, you have the distribution of your wealth, of your income as it comes in. So this whole process of strategy is what we use when I'm going through the coaching and the training of the Innovatech system. All right. Personal vision plan, of course, deals with things like your identity, your purpose, and we have covered this in some times. And if you want to go through it again, people just indicate and we will go through it. You also have I just want to make sure that I have my chat up so that just in case people are asking questions. Very good. All right. So you have your vision, you have your passion, you have your destiny, where you want to go, where you want what the end result will be. The passion has to do with the thing that's really grabbing your attention and you're passionate about, and you want to adjust and change and keeps you up at night. Right? The principles, what character qualities would you hold on to? The things that keeps you stable, that keep you functional when things are very hard and things are difficult and things not working out. What are the principles you're going to live by and stand by? Right? And then your goals, and you're setting these goals as solutions to specific problems. Right? What steps would you like to take to your destiny? Right? So that's the vision plan really, and that's a whole training by itself. Of course, the corporate vision plan deals with the entrepreneur, financial literacy, which we're going to deal with tonight, the specific needs you're going after based upon the passion that you have, your gifted solution, because your solution comes from your gift, your purpose, who you are, right? And of course, that creates your corporate vision plan, right? And then of course you do a corporate org chart, right? The chart and how you're going to structure your company and all that sort of thing. And then your implementation sequence, what you're going to do first, second, third, all those sort of things. All of this is one whole caption or training by itself, but it's part of the Innovatech system, all right? Of course, the business technology part has to do with all of these, right? The niche research technology, your product innovation technology, your direct response marketing technology, of course, your customer relations technology, your management technology, your analytics technology, payment technology. As a matter of fact, when your operation is functioning at its best or functioning full flight, all you do per day is really just look at a sheet of how things are operating. That's all the work you really do when the day comes. The only other thing you do besides that is create something new that you want to send to the team to produce. That's basically it. You're working on your new idea or your new recipe or your new product or whatever. Other than that, all you're looking at is a sheet of paper that gives you how all of these are functioning, like how a product is performing, how the marketing going, how the customers are operating, how the payment structure is happening, how the management and the team is working. That's when it's really operating. All you're doing is looking at the sheet of paper, and you know when things are looking bad, when they're looking good. You know and in business there is this thing called the KPIs or the key performance indicators. So you get to weigh them and know, okay, this person is not putting enough of that ingredient in this thing. So I'm getting this particular feedback from these customers, or this thing is spoiling, or this thing is not getting the result it's supposed to get because this person is not doing so and so. So I need to have a meeting with this group. You get to see this on a sheet of paper and make adjustments. That's how awesome this is. All right. So with the customer, right? So with the technology, we are going into the financial literacy, right? This is the thing we want to deal with tonight. How are we gonna get the poor to get rich and the rich to get wealthy, right? How are we gonna go through this stage? Here's what's happening. We have to understand that we are created to manage resources. Resources has to do with time. Resources can be your gift, your abilities. Resources are like money, right? All those things are resources, and you are designed to manage and master these things. So you can sit down in the morning and say, I want this time to be used doing XYZ, or I want to use this resource I have to do XY. You can actually document that, plan that, and put it to work. So the resources are your slaves. They are your slave. You are the master. The resources are the slaves. Now, the poor doesn't know that. The poor person, in their mind, their knowledge, the information they have, the base they have is they are victims. They are victims of circumstances. They are victims of the bank. They are victims of the recession, the government. They are victims. Everybody makes decisions. They are victims of the employer. Everybody makes decisions for the poor. The middle class basically is the same thing. The only difference is that the middle class, what they do is that the only decision they make on their own is where they want to serve the rich. That's the only decision they make. In which capacity would I serve the rich or the employer? Right? They actually make those decisions. That's their knowledge. So what they do is that they go to try to find a better education or certification or car or something to serve someone else. So they don't look at creating anything per se. They try to find out what this rich person or this person who is in charge wants, and they try to create something to please that person. So their idea or their knowledge base is, who can I please? Who can I serve? The rich person thinks totally different. Their knowledge base is, what can I create to solve this problem? What can I create to solve this problem that's happening down here, across there, this need that is there? What can I create to solve that problem? They think like that. That's knowledge base, right? The wealthy think about, how can we solve this problem? How can we create an environment, a system that solves a problem or that provides an environment or a particular solution for a group of people in a particular issue or a particular country, a particular community, whatever it is. They think along those lines. And that's because that's their knowledge base. They're always looking at relationships and resources. They connect relationships and resources a lot, right? And they're valuable together, right? Now, their belief systems are different too. The poor, as I said before, not just only knows that money is in charge, or the boss is in charge, or that the government is in charge, or my time is in charge of me, the TV is in charge of me. The poor, he knows that, but the poor actually believes that he's a victim, as I said before. He believes that there is nothing he can do about it. He believes that I cannot change this. That's just how, to the poor, that is reality. If you try to tell a poor person that is foolish, but you have been on, the poor will tell you you're unrealistic. You're not being realistic. And the middle class person or even the rich person will laugh, right? The middle class person believes that they can actually climb up the success ladder. They can achieve a level of intelligence. They can achieve a level of a certification to climb up a corporate ladder, to become promoted, to be in a position to be promoted, and that's something they believe they could do that. So they train their children like that, they think like that, they function like that. They actually believe they can stay up whole night and master a subject so they can get through with something and get another job or get another thing. The rich person believes that they can actually create any amount of money they want and any amount of environment, any size of environment they want. The rich actually believes that they can do it for themselves. They believe it for themselves. The wealthy believe it for all of us. They believe for themselves and the whole group. That's the difference, right? The wealthy thinks similar to the rich, but the difference is that the wealthy always includes us. We can do this. We can create this thing. We can do so and so. So there are these stages. Now, it is okay to go from poor to rich and then to wealthy. That's okay, right? It's okay to go from middle class to rich to wealthy. It's okay, right? It's okay. But you don't have to go from poor to middle class. You go from poor and jump, right? And I say you could go with questions. Now, not just beliefs, habits now. Habits have to do with what they do automatically every day. They do some things that the poor do every day, automatically without thinking. Middle class to the rich, the poor, they do things. There's some habits they do with resources, with money, every day. If you give them $100, you give them $1,000, there's a habit that they have that they put it in a particular way. It goes and does something. If you give the poor money, they will do one or two things: pay off bills, which includes debt, or buy things to consume. That's how the poor thinks. In other words, the poor thinks of, let's have fun, man. Let's just enjoy life. Right? The poor thinks like that. Right? The middle class thinks like that, but he thinks also that he can buy a better thing, a better vacation, a better house, a better car, a better room, right? But the middle class focus a lot on buying things to consume as well. Now, even though they try sometimes to save, a lot of the saving is really to get another vacation or to get another something. Now, there is another part where sometimes they save for education, promotion, to serve better, and that's good. The middle class does that. The rich habit is they sit down and find out, how can I create better? How can I innovate? What can I produce? So they're always thinking about the next recipe or the next course or the next program or the next option that they could create or produce to generate income, a profitable one, something that generates income, something that grows, something that can add more to what I have, which things like that. Habitually, if you give them $1,000, the first thing they will think of is, where do I need to invest this to grow? That's the first thing they think of. Once that is filled, then it's easy for them to think of all the other things, the vacation, the this, the that, whatever. The wealthy habitually think of, who can I help? It's automatic for them because they have so much that they want to help, right? Like the rich, but they think of, who can I help? And those are automatic habits. So they always reach out to people to find out, where can I serve? Where can I play so and so? They have group meetings and meet with people to discuss what can we do to solve so and so, to meet with this, meet with organizations, contributing, benevolent organizations to do contributions, make contributions to different things. They're always thinking along those lines, all right? Because they have so much. All right. Now, there are four major financial categories that we have to go through when it comes to the rich, the poor, middle class. The employee have to understand that they have a job. That's how they function. They function by going to work, not being their work. The self-employed function of going to their own job that they own. So if they don't show up, the job doesn't get done, right? Both the employee and the self-employed have to show up in order to generate income, right? Now, employees have a good thing that they love, which is, I don't have to go to work every day. I can take some leave, some sick leave or some vacation leave, and I still get paid. So some employees enjoy that. The self-employed, a lot of times they don't have that. You take vacation leave, there's no money to get. Nothing comes in because you are not, there's nothing happening. So employees love that idea of running a little thing on the side. So they're self-employed and they're employees at the same time. You know, they love that thing. And that's a nice combination in building wealth, you know, but you just have to know how to manage the income as it comes in. And we'll talk about that later. Now, going to the area of entrepreneur is going on the other side of the spectrum. A lot of self-employed think of themselves as entrepreneurs, but they're really not. They're really what Michael Gerber called them technicians. They're good at doing something. So they're good at fixing a computer or fixing a car, or they're good at building cupboards, or they're good at baking a cake, or they're good at doing administrative work. So they think that if they take that and they offer that to people, that they're entrepreneurs. But really and truly, what they do is that they're really just technicians and they might try to create some things now and then as an entrepreneur. But the basic modus operandi are good at creating something just to serve the need, not necessarily to generate wealth. And that's the challenge. On the other side now, the business owner has a system of operation. And this system of operation is where he has different things working for him. And those things can be people, they can be machinery, they can be programs, right? And that system, what he does, the business owner inputs his new creation or his new idea into the system, and the system generates more income or gives him more results or more resources or more free time, right? So there's this system that the business owner has, and he looks at the system as something separate from him. That's why you said there's a personal vision plan and there's a corporate vision plan that is separate from you. It is not your personal life plan. The corporation needs its own vision plan, its own system. It's an entity unto itself. That's why some people have it as well. We call it limited liability. It knows it's liability to itself. It's not to you. So it's separated. All right. The investor now, which is a lot of people trying to get there, is the person who now uses resources to get returns, and the resources work for him. So it's similar to the business system. The difference is that he don't have to structure it. He don't have to build the system. The investor invests in a system that's already built. And we'll talk about how you can actually help at your level to invest in systems that are already built. So the system is built, he's not creating it, puts resources into it, he gets back returns, investments, increases, right? Which we call interest. All right. So the investor operates at a different level, but both investor and the business owner have something in common. There's a system that works for them. The only difference is the business owner owns the system, he created it. The investor doesn't own the system, he didn't create it, but he just uses it and benefits from it. All right. So those differences in terms of the categories. Now, all of us are free to choose which lifestyle we want, right? So the poor enjoys and have fun with relationships, right? And they have time and they enjoy it. Same 24 hours, all of them are the same 24 hours, all of them have access to relationships, all of them have access to things. The difference is they enjoy it differently. So the poor consume everything. Fun relationships, eat out, lime, a lot of time to have fun, enjoy things, play games, you know, a lot of stuff. The middle class, they enjoy relationships that will help them to grow or to get promoted or to get increase. But they also use the time to also get increase as well as just to have fun. And most of the time, the middle class actually consume or buy things that are liabilities. And we'll talk about assets and liabilities a little later, right? But they consume a lot of things. So most of the things that they acquire actually are things that don't so much add to them, but more consume them, right? Their time and so forth, right? The rich, they're both sides of the story. A lot of rich people I know enjoy relationships at the level of ideas, relationships that increase their inspiration and get them going, also that are safe to protect their mentality and the emotional structure, because they're very careful about that they don't have people around them who will have negative vibes and throw water on their ideas and something. They're very, very protective of that with their relationships, right? And it's not so much that they want it, but they realize that if they don't protect it, their ideas could get killed, and they could doubt their own self, and they can't live like that if they want to live at that level, right? The poor live like that because they live in doubting themselves and don't believe in themselves. So the rich have to protect that because they believe that whatever idea they come up with, they can implement it and achieve something. And you have to protect that belief system. That is why they are very careful with who they relate to, who they bring into the circle. All right. Of course, they use their time to create, generate, and of course, time to relax. While they're relaxing, have a very good partner, and a lot of them who while they're relaxing. So when for example, I tell people when I'm busy, I can be busy lying on my bed. What I'm doing, I'm meditating, I'm thinking by using my time. I'm creating, I'm rejuvenating. That's being busy. That's easy. So a lot of people do that also. And wealthy people do that too, but they spend a lot of time both with relationships and with building ideas. They do both. And things, of course, they use things differently. The rich and the wealthy don't really focus on things. They actually build assets that that buys the things for them that they want or that they need. Whether it's vacation, fun time, things to consume or to use. They don't focus on getting things. They let the organization or whatever it is buy or consume or get the things for them. All right, not a focus as such. Now, quality of life, of course, depends on how you use your resources. So in resources, let's deal with these things, We talk about getting finances, getting money. If I give you $100,000 now, what would you do with it? Can you put them on paper? What would you do if you have $100,000 in the morning and all the things that you list? Go ahead and list it. You might not be able to list all yet, but list it, right? But it's an exercise. And then you have to ask a question afterwards. Go back over the list and find out how much of these things are contributions or donations, how much of them are assets that will add to me, how much of them are liabilities, whether it's a paying off a bill. Well, no, that's expensive. I'm buying a thing to consume or to enjoy a better fridge, a better car, a better, chair, whatever it is. How much of it is? Of course, these things are important, but how much of it? Investment. How much of it is to grow, to add value, to increase, to give me a return? How much of it is to keep for safety? Right? Just in case something happens, illness, whatever it is, or plan that I have, right? And of course, how much of it is just to have fun and buy liabilities, right? Just to have fun or buy the liabilities, right? And we'll talk about the budget thing, the 4-quadrant budget, right? We'll talk about that. The 4-category budget, which is everybody should really have. But those are things you need to work on, right? Your 4th category budget, benefiting from inflation and recession. In order to move from poor to rich, you have to change the way you use or budget your monies or resources that come into your life. Even your 24 hours, you have to learn to budget it. In order to move, your first thing is to sit down and budget. How are you going to invest your resources, your gift, your time, your money that you have? You have to sit down and do it, right? Something I tell people, you create and implement what you call a 4-category budget. Your budget must at least have these 4 things. At least. Now, there are other categories, but these are 4 major ones you must have in your, even if it's $100. And the reason why the poor find it difficult to do this because emotionally, their needs are the master of their life. Their needs, the needs that they have are the master. So they can't do it because I have this and this to do and that to do. And they can't get out of the idea that these things I have to do are extremely important. I must do these things. So that emotional detachment has to take place so that people could benefit from inflation and recession. And the way to do that is by creating this budget. Then what do you call, I'll show you how to implement what you call a diversified investment plan. And that investment plan includes things like, and I'll go through it a little later on. Let me just go touch it on. Let me go on with this. You have to prepare to buy when prices are cheap. And ladies, I know you are able to find sales. A lot of ladies are able to find sales, and that's so good. So this is good. The same way you do that, you can actually buy cheap investments, and I'll talk about that later on. And of course, you want to be able to sell when prices are high. So you just want to buy, you want to find out how to sell also. For example, things might be seasonal, right? So the fisherman know Lent time, fish prices go up. It's time to sell more fish, right? So they function differently, all right? All right, getting financial coach or accountant is a must, right? You must get a coach or accountant, somebody to guide, even if it's somebody to, both of you learning from somebody, you and somebody else learning from somebody, but find somebody to learn from, right? And then you have to learn to be flexible, to move your resources as the times change. For example, what used to work 10 years ago may not be working now. And you have to know that adjustment that you need to make, okay, in these different categories. Now, replacing bad debt with good debt. That is a big thing for most people. The difference is that most middle class and poor have what you call bad debt. Most rich and wealthy people have what you call good debt, right? I learned it from Robert years ago, but I also learned some things from another gentleman who taught me to check the banks when the banks have what they call loan sale. And then what you do with the loan sale is that you take the loan sale and you find investment that is higher in interest than the interest of the loan, and you invest it. And he did it in a way where you could do like what they call an annual payment. So you can pay it off in a year, so that by the time the next year come around, you can take another loan again. But that one is paid off. And he would only take the amount that he could pay off in a year. And he started doing this thing. Watch now, retired early, you know, taught me this thing some years ago. It's just awesome, right? How to sell liabilities, things that are consuming your time, your energy. For example, I eventually had to sell a car because the car was taking too much gas, one, and then the parts would be coming too expensive. I say, okay, time for you to go. Don't get married to any liabilities, right? Get married to an asset, right? Be able to sell liabilities, buy assets. Okay, what can I buy that will add more income to me? What can I buy? So if I'm going to take a loan, which is a good debt, right? I know I skipped credit card and debit card. You saw that. So I'm not going to talk about that. I think everybody can do that one, right? Get rid of the credit cards and replace them with debit cards. But here was happening. This one is a big one that actually helps, because the assets help you to pay the cards, right, when you have debts. So you have to ask the question, what can I buy? And that buy also could be invest in that will add some income to me. For example, if I take a loan of 100,000, can that loan pay for itself as well as invest in something that will be growing? So can I invest 50,000, right? And that 50,000 will be actually giving me $1,000 or $500 a month. But the 50,000 that remains is paying the debt for 5 months or whatever months, until the asset increases in value or in income to pay for the debt. So I don't have to work to pay for the debt, to pay for the loan. I can actually take a loan, and I've done it, right, to buy an asset, and then the asset itself is paying the loan. And that comes with, sometimes you could, I remember, you could do that with truck. That truck, you could do it with a car on the road. You could do it with instrument, different things. Where you're lending out or renting out, all kind of stuff, right? Next things, check financial institutions for investment opportunities. Always be on the lookout in your credit union, in your banks, in your corporations. What opportunities are they having new that are coming up? What are they having, you know? So that's sort of thing. Okay, Forex, wonderful thing. Forex, which I will include Forex and Bitcoins or cryptocurrency for investment opportunities. Of course, be careful. Right, we have investment companies that we could use, and there's a whole program on how to invest in Forex, but that's a nice one. Check the index fund for investment opportunities, right? Index fund, FCB have good index fund. Vanguard, if you live in the US, have good index fund. Corporate, what's the name? Creative Advantage is another good company that invests in index funds. So all these are index fund investments, and you could actually go and find out, how can I invest in index fund? What do I need to do? How much do I need to have? How can I start? Penny stocks, of course, stock market, big, nice one, getting a broker. Penny stocks, you can actually start penny stocks with, I think is how much? $50 or $29, some kind of craziness. $50, I think you can start with, 50 US. You can start to invest in penny stocks. You can go to Timothy Sykes. I just put his picture on the side here. Go to Timothy Sykes page.com, and you could actually learn some of the things that he's doing. Of course, if you want him to train you directly, there's a whole program with that costs about almost 7,000 US just for the tuition, and then you have to have some other things like about $2,000 to invest for the year. It's a year-long training, and you have to have 15 hours, up to 15 hours, I think, a week, 10 to 15 hours a week to invest in working with him if you want him to train you directly. But you can use some of his techniques from his page and start with it and generate the income and scale. All right. So that's a good one. As well as you can do the normal stocks. You go to the banks and go to the unit trust, or not unit trust. Go to your stock exchange or your agency and just ask them, how can I invest in different stocks and so forth. The blue chip stocks, which are the most lucrative companies in the countries, and start investing in stocks. Sorry, but you have to have a certain amount of money to be able to be safe in these things. In Forex and in big stocks, you need to have some good change, like I said, between 2,000 to 5,000 US to start in those things. But with the penny stocks, of course, you could start small, very small. Then you have this other one now where you can actually look at opportunities, business startups. Your neighbor or friend who want to start up a bakery, you want to start up making things, you want to cook at home, right? Like this friend of ours, she's very good at cooking. So we say, hey, what do you want to do? And she want to start something. She want to do, what she wanted to do was bake and shark. Say, okay, let's invest in this. She want to do bake and shark, and she's very good at cooking. Invest in it, and she make a bake and shark, we go and pick it up, drop off, you know, and that sort of thing. But somebody want to start something, invest in them. So that's a good way. That's how cooperative were built. Like all of us investing in our finances together, or what the people used to call susu. We put our monies together. But the thing is, you could go another further step by saying, hey, you want to make sheets, you want to do this. How about if I invest in you, helping you buy the cloth or buy the machine or whatever it is, and we have a 10% return on investment. After 3 months, I start getting a 10% return. Little things like that, we come together and form little groups and invest together and grow things together. From out of this startup, you could actually now invest in the other things, penny stocks, index fund, forex, because you're generating income with someone else, partnering with someone else to create, So you're moving from just poor to the rich, and then you start, because you're partnering and helping others, you move to the wealthy now, where you're finding, okay, the ladies or the girls in this street, I find it always so and so and so, whatever it is. How can we help them? I find the young fellas always lying on the block like they have nothing to do. How can we help these young men? So there's this camaraderie of support where you're now combining your financial systems with the relationships and build wealth. And in that process, you're actually replacing bad debt with good debt. And then the good debt eventually wipe out all the debt, right? Have more debt. But that's the kind of things that's happening with a lot of people, right? So that's now in the Innovatech system, we'll deal with all of this, but we're not going to go through that now. But this is what I'm going to stop at today, because this is about, as I say, financial literacy, get people to understand different terms and how to use the different things. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to open for